Hi, I'm Rick, and I'm not going to do some famous or kind of doing editing or anything like that. However, I just want to get it off my chest. I want to get it off my chest. This is where I'm living at right now, right? I'm living in my motorhome now. 15 years of living in a house that have this 10 acres. Now, I've lived in homes that, when I was a kid, that overlooked LA, up on the top of a hill. And I lived in a house where it was multi different levels, and I had a fireplace in my bedroom, and I had my own bathroom. And then, of course, you go on your own, and you wind up living in a motel, and you move up, and you get your own hotel, or you get your own hotel. You get your own apartment, apartment, and then you get a house. And I had a house where, I had a backyard, and things were going good. I can always find a job anywhere. I can always find a job within a week. I've been a warehouse manager. These are jobs that were big jobs. I mean, there was a lot of live doing construction, or you're dishwashing, or you're doing whatever it is that keep the income going. But in the meantime, when you find something like I was working at a warehouse, and I worked from janitor and throwing away all these doing whatever I had to do as far as that goes, and then work my way up through forklift and shipping and receiving, and wow, I could, and then I became a warehouse manager, and I was only 23, but I knew the whole place like the back of my hand. And then I moved to Northern California, and I worked at some warehouses. And I worked at a warehouse that was doing just fine until they went belly up. And then I get to New York City, and I start working as an import and export operations manager. And then the place I didn't like New York. So it wasn't like I got fired or anything like that, but I just didn't like the area, because it was just so fast and furious, and everybody's like an ass, But they weren't really an ass. They were like a bunch of Boston cream puff people. They were soft in the middle, but crusty on the outside. But they meant well, They told you to toughen up, and I learned a lot from them. And of course, I went to Pennsylvania. And I started getting into radio. And I worked at a radio station for basically 7 years. And then I went, I also worked at another radio station up in in upstate New York, up in Elmira. And then I went to gospel music television. But see, when I went down there, I worked at a hotel place. They weren't quite getting things ready for me yet, but I had the job. But I had to have some income coming in. So I get over there, and I landed a job in Pigeon Forge. Sevierville. Bam! Landed a job. Bam! Can find a job any place. And then Gospel Music Television Network was sold and relocated. And then I got married and try to find a job in Jamestown, which I try to get into radio again over there. But actually, where I was living at was in Jamestown, Tennessee, and there was no, basically, no jobs there. And it was the home of Alvin C. York, who was the World War I hero. And he has the Alvin C. York High School and the mall and all that stuff. Well, after we parted ways with my girl that I was with at the time, I went back to Sevierville and I found another job working at a candy place. It's a good place to be at. I mean, there was like all kinds of, people from all around, and like Georgia and Alabama, and I wound up becoming, I was so animated, I get animated, and I was giving the kids a show. I put a little, in the candy place, I would make taffy, and when I have to make like let's say a watermelon, and I had to put green. Well, it's white, and it's a caramel color after you first make it, but then you got to take a piece off and then put it in the puller, and you slap that sucker on the puller, and it starts to go, and next thing you know, as it's pulling, you're keeping an eye on it, and when it starts to get white, and it gets that texture, you put a little bit of food coloring in it. But see, it's a paste, not like drops of liquid like you would in some confections, that you would do. This one is a paste. It was like in a thing, a knife, and you pull a little bit out, and you put it right in the thing, and it would fold right into it. And then the kids understood what I was doing. But as I put away the thing, the color, and I put the cap back on and put it in the thing and put the knife away, I would then turn around and start going like this, moving my hands around it, and the kids are going, "What's he doing?" And then when they see the white taffy start to turn green, everybody's like, "Whoa!" So I put on a little show. And they're looking through a window, and you got millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people walking through this place every year. And now here I am, entertaining as I'm working. My boss didn't like that. Why is that? Why can't you interact with the children? When you interact with the children, the parents respect that. And they look at and they want to take pictures. And you give them samples, too. And you give them a little advice and say, how do you keep it as warm and like that? And I said, put it in your microwave from like 4 to 5 seconds. And this guy put it in for 45 seconds. I said, no, 4 to 5. But, I had people take pictures of me with their children, and I'm the candy man, and entertained, and I worked there a couple years before I moved away. I met Carol during the time I was working at that place. And I made every vow that I had said. I didn't want to. Every vow that I ever said that I would never fall for a chain. I would never do this, or I would never do that. But then when I saw Carol, just something about her. And still to this day, even though we broke up, it was still to this day. And the only reason why we broke up is because when I moved up here, it was hard to find a job. It took me 4 months to finally get a job. And I started working at Flint Truck and Bus. I worked there for 5 years. Everything was going just fine. We love each other. We made love. I felt that I was her man. You have Obama come in, had basically emboldened a lot of racist black Democrats. And when they did, you had people who were coming up to me and throwing trash at me and saying, "Pick it up, cracker." And they would point at things that are black and go, "What color is that?" I said, "Black." And they go, "That's right. And what color is that?" It's black. And pretty soon, the White House is going to be a black house. This is the shit that they gave me. But then here comes, they knew. They would taunt me. Because they knew that I wasn't an Obama fan. When they walked in with a shirt And it said, Obama, yes, we can. And it had that big picture of him. And I'm thinking, actually, I didn't think anything of it. He had. So he's a supporter of Obama. Okay. Did I go up to him and say, you're a racist, you gotta take that shirt off? I never did that. Yet, he come up to me with that shirt. Actually, in a group, and one of my black friends, and he understands, him and I, even though he's black, we were still friends. Even though we were on the opposite side of the deal, we were still friends. But he puts me on the spot, but I'm not going to let him put me on the spot. So he says, man, here's Obama, man. I said, tell him what you think about Obama. And the one girl was going, yeah, I heard you pull in one day, man. You got that Obama playing on the phone, like this kind of thing. And it's like, I said, so what do you think about him? I said, well, I've been studying communism, and I've been studying the Constitution, and I've been studying, you have to know who your enemy is, and you have to study who you're going to anticipate every move. But I also understand about our basic founding principles, and I believe he's a communist. And they went, say what? And ever since then, that whole place has hated me to get rid of me. Now, I'm not talking politics. However, I do talk politics with my girl, which gives her the impression that I'm talking this shit at work. I know better than that, but I had no idea, and this is when I started to begin to realize, that I had no idea that you can be silenced. You can be silenced. And that's why all these people over here are walking around like a bunch of broken horses. Got their head down and they allow the shit to be said and be done. And I'm like going, aren't you going to do anything about this? No, nothing. Well, I see it now. That these people here in Genesee County will not stand for themselves. They will go vote, but been so desensitized, or don't even give a shit, or they have given up that they won't even go vote. But I believe that the year of 2020 is going to be basically the year of, the year of clarity. And hindsight is 2020. And when they start to realize the history of the Democrat Party, and when they start to see the stuff that they have been doing to people, I will be vindicated. And it'll be the one time, I hope to God, when they always say to me, well, someday they'll get theirs. Well, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want my vengeance. And if they fall and they crumble and they fall right in front of me, I have no remorse. However, when this gets destroyed and everything becomes unraveled, there is no law anymore. When the Democrats ignore the law and they stamp on the law, well, I guess there'd be no discussion in any court, because it will become, and once it becomes irrelevant, then the battle that we are having in the courtrooms will be moved into the battlefields once again. And if people were to get informed, they would be more united and see how the government is stupid and weak-minded. And if people go, I'm not stupid and weak-minded, well, then do something about it, okay? Prove me that you're not that stupid. Why don't you check out that information and then prove to me that you actually are that smart to be a true American citizen who has a responsibility as an American citizen to be informed and united. If you're that dumb, and if you think that the reasons why Trump should be what do you call it, impeached for some stupid phone call or whatever they're trying to get him on. It's obvious that they're trying to do anything they can to make this man irrelevant. And if there's anybody here that has any common sense, which they have been trying to destroy with the political, a boy can be girls and girls can be boys. No, what's that song go? Boys can be girls and girls can be boys. It's a mixed up world, a shook up world, except for Lola. Well, come on, man. You people gotta get your head out of your ass. And if we're gonna save this country, well, I'm doing my part as far as trying to get... But see, this is where I want to... Doing my part. This is where I'm at. Doing my... My girlfriend and I have finally parted. We still are friends. We still communicate. However, I lost it. I lost the house I live in. I lost everything. I am being blacklisted. The only thing that holds me here is the band. The Eddie T band. We're a fucking rockin' country rock band. And we're getting noticed throughout the world. It's just beginning. If you stick and hold out with it. That's how I was committed with my girl. I'm just as committed with the band. But I'm also committed to this country. And if I can't get people to follow me, the hell with it. I'll just do what I can until they take me down. And you guys can just all do what you can to save yourselves. I just hope to God that someday that people enough to find out on the 20th, 2020, year 2020, the year of clarity. And if you're too stupid and live in the fog of deception, then that's your fault. We're coming after you when all hell breaks loose. But I'm trying to avoid that from happening. If you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. So I plead with you to go out and get informed. Hillsdale College actually doesn't take any money from government, which means that the government can never control them. And then you got the Pepperdine University of Policy and Law. They also give you a very in-depth view of what socialism is. It's not a biased view. It's actually from the socialists themselves. And the reasons why they put the socialists themselves to do these lectures is so that you can hear it from their own words in an unbiased way. Well, bias on their part, but as far as being at like a college, they actually allow these people to come in and make point. And then that's how right-wingers are more tolerant than the left, because left-wingers are intolerant. They are against free speech. The right-wingers are giving a socialist a platform in order to make his case. And then there's a debate. But yet, the left-wingers will not make anybody from the right try to make their case so that they can have a debate. They want to shut it down. Left-wingers are the most dangerous and most dumbest people on the planet. And it's time to shut them down.